everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is United vs. Everybody. I am your host, Sean. If you've been here a while, you know that. If this is your first time, welcome. Happy to have you here on a bright and sunny, windy Sunday afternoon. I don't know what it's like for you guys, what time it is. It is windy, but it is nice out today, so maybe I'm going to get outside a little later. But how's everybody's weekend going? Let me know what you guys got up to this weekend. Let me know what you got going on to close out the weekend. Has anybody been watching any of these qualifiers? We are going to talk a little bit about that today, but it is the Man United News Roundup. You guys know the drill by now. Wait for a couple of days to get some interesting, juicy transfer rumors. Let's see what Romano's putting out. Let's see what some journos are putting out, who we're getting linked with, what's been going on around the club, and then we chat about it. It's not that big deal. Don't read too much into it, but that's what we're doing today, you guys. We're talking transfer targets, we're talking midfielders, we're talking youngsters, and we're having a look at some of the dubious links as well. And we're going to talk a little bit about the World Cup qualifiers because I know everyone is on the edge of their seat watching that today. But that's what we're going to do today. That's what we got in for you guys today. So hope everybody's enjoying their weekend. Let me know as you trickle in how things are going. But while you're trickling in, please make sure to hit that like button. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check those memberships if you want to get more involved in the content on the channel. What if episodes, scouting reports, even joining in the Kickabout on a weekly basis when Dylan and I are here. Legends members, they do get to join on the Kickabout. And then we've got that WhatsApp group for Starting 11 and Legends members as well. So loads of ways to get more involved in the content on the channel outside of the emojis, outside of the badges. So, also, shameless plug one more time. Last day to get 20% off everything in the United vs. Everybody store. There's some new designs in there as well, but it is the last day you get 20% off. So if you're on the fence, if you're looking around, if you got something or a couple somethings sitting in the cart and you haven't yet pulled the trigger, today is the last day to go ahead and get that done. So you guys know the spiel. You've been here by now. You've heard it. Let me see who get involved in the chat. Danny B in the house. Big up, Danny. Hope you're doing well, my friend. How are things going for you? Ireland, man. That boy, Troy Parrott, dude, he's having a bit of a tournament, isn't he? Having a bit of a season, really, because he's at Akmar. We're going to talk a little bit about World Cup today a little bit as well, but Danny's letting me know who's doing what here. Anderson, yeah, dude, Anderson, as far as my transfer target priorities for the summer, it's Anderson, and then it's like 10 miles of just nothing. I don't care. And then it's whoever else we want to go get. Anderson, Stiller would be excellent. Anderson, Wharton would be excellent. There's a lot of options. Just Anderson plus one in that midfield is going to be the majority no matter what, in my opinion. So just get it done. I don't care what it takes. And honestly, and we'll save it for a couple minutes. Let me get caught up here with everybody. What's going on? Danny says he's next level. Yeah, he's awesome, dude. Yeah, he's excellent. Ireland's still buzzing, dude. Congratulations, though. I mean, they're pretty much locked in now, right? I mean, oh no, they're in the playoffs, I think. So, but Troy Parrott, what a performance for him, man. That's funny. Yeah, we're gonna give Ireland props today, you guys. Make sure you throw out some Ireland. Are there any Irish flag emojis on YouTube? If there are, go ahead and throw them out there for your boy Danny. Let him know. Rob Taff in the house. Big up, Rob. Yes, do hit those like buttons. We are on the road to 3K. Like I said, if we get to 3K before Dylan and I go to Manchester next month, so you've got until Christmas, the winner will get anything they want from the mega store at Old Trafford. I forgot what the name was for a second. I'll get you whatever you want. I'll ship it to you. No questions asked. I don't care where you live. If you're on the moon, we'll figure it out. If you're on the moon, maybe Amazon will get it there, but I'll hook you up, but we got to get the 3K. It's up to you guys, but I appreciate all your support. Appreciate everybody always stopping by. So if you want to get in with a shout, do a little bit more. I got you. Yeah, not through yet. Playoffs, right? So speaking of qualifying and whatnot, Shea Lacey scored for the England under-20s. Like, big up Shea Lacey. We just did a couple videos recently for anyone who hasn't yet watched them. We did an academy watch and a loan watch videos. We did 2 separate videos, went through the entire under 21s basically and a couple of the under 18s, what they're up to, how they're performing, profile, playing style, numbers, and then when could we see them in with a shout with the first team. We did the same for the loanees right now, guys like VTech, and like Ennis and Wheatley. We went through that as well, but go and watch those if you haven't yet. If you want to learn a little bit about the academy, if you don't really know much about the academy, or if you do and you just want a refresher, worth a shout. Good little way to kill an hour. But yeah, Shea Lacey scored for the under 20s. He's reportedly, like we talked about recently, being fast tracked behind the scenes at United. He and Ruben Amorim reportedly have spent a lot of one-on-one time together. He's getting in with a shout with the first team training and things. I think we could definitely see him in around AFCON, maybe even getting some minutes with both Mbeumo and Ahmad leaving. Lacey playing, he could play either role, honestly. I really do think so. But I do think that Lacey in that 10 role that Mbeumo plays, which is kind of like a winger / inside forward role, but then also Kamison or somebody like that playing in that right wingback role, and even over Dallo would not go amiss. I'm gonna get some coffee. I'm gonna tell you right now, if I sound tired, it's because I'm tired. Just hanging out last night, bonfire with Bill, Brad, and Corey, and this guy Jeremy. Jeremy's got an excellent Lord of the Rings channel, by the way. If you guys are into Lord of the Rings, I was just found out about that last night. Checked it out. I will. I don't remember what it is off the top, man. If you're into Lord of the Rings and you want to learn a thing or two and feel like even if you think you're an expert and you want to feel like all of a sudden that you're not an expert because someone else knows a lot more, it's called There and Back Again. Go check it out. It's pretty sick. But bonfire late, it was literally just Messi Ronaldo debate pretty much for about 3 hours out in this bonfire. It's insane. But in any case, late night, need the coffee. A literal 4 hours of sleep. But yeah, go check out the Academy videos. What Danny's saying here. Amorim doesn't give Lacey a proper crack of the whip. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. We talked about that right in those videos. I put a poll out there if you guys want to go get involved. Not a poll, a post. If you guys want to get involved in that, you can leave your comment with who you think of the Academy could get maybe some minutes this season. Most people were saying Lacey. Some people saying Kone. I think there are a few options. Kamison would be one of my picks, honestly. But it sounds like a couple of them are kind of secretly being fast-tracked. But moving on, why don't we start with a little bit of a laugh at Liverpool segment while we're at it. You guys know we always kind of start things off with a laugh at Liverpool segment. So this image popped up on the interwebs yesterday or the day before. I don't remember. We didn't do a video yesterday. Just looking at the goal differential or the points difference after 11 games in the Premier League compared to last season's first 11 and this season's first 11. As you can see, we are marginally better. +3, we're 3 points better at this point than we were last season. I think Ten Hag had just kind of been done as if a couple weeks ago. I don't know if when was Amorim's first match in charge? It might have been around this time we played Ipswich. Ipswich was his first match in charge, and it was a 1-1 draw, if you guys remember that. But so we are 3 points better off. We have been going on a good run of form. But if you look all the way down there towards the bottom of the of the graphic, if you need help finding it, my emoji will point right where you need to be looking. Liverpool are 10 points worse off at this point than they were last season, which is always cause for celebration. You guys know we are a big laugh at Liverpool channel out here. Let me shrink this up a little bit. This calls for a nice little swig of Scouse tears. You guys know I love my Scouse tears. You'll always cry alone. Don't forget it. Bitter, salty, but rejuvenating at the same time. I think it only tastes that way to rivals, though. But in any case, we can laugh at Liverpool for being 10 points worse off by this point compared to last season. And we got a little bit of a plus. So I'll take it. I don't know about you guys, but it's always worth laughing at Liverpool. Yes, I'm reaching. I don't care. It's funny. And it's my show. So we're going to do it. But do you guys think we're doing better? Do you think that you've seen that we're doing better on the pitch? Let me know. Who's watching the qualifiers? Anybody watching the qualifiers? I'm having trouble keeping up with it because some teams are basically done. They've played their 8. I think it's 8, right? Some teams have only played like 5 or so they've got a lot more to go. Someone got to remind me who's qualified and who's not qualified. I know U.S., Canada, Mexico are qualified because they're the host nations, right? That's just the way it works. I want to say Australia, Japan, South Korea, maybe. You guys have to remind me who's qualified. What African Cup, Nation Cups, what teams from like the Asian leagues, CONCACAF, has anybody qualified from CONCACAF yet? I don't know. England, I think, are in, right? France, maybe. I was watching France earlier and they weren't they were struggled to start and then they came back to make it 2-1. Aklios, you guys remember we've scouted Aklios on this channel. Monaco's young, kind of attacking midfielder, right winger. He scored his international debut. I'd still take him United. He's a really good player. But yeah, let me know who else is qualified if you guys know off the top of your head, because I can't keep track. Portugal, I think Portugal are in now. I think Norway, Jarvis, if you're watching, Norway just have to not lose to Italy, I believe, if that makes sense. Wales, I think, could still sneak in when I checked. Netherlands, I think, are in with a shout if they don't lose. Austria is almost in there. Belgium, I think, are another one that needs to not lose. So, and it doesn't mean they're out. There's still a playoff round if you come in second in your group and stuff. But what South American countries are in right now? I think it's like Brazil, Argentina, probably a guarantee in at least qualifying, right? Let me know if you guys know. But also, I mean, you don't have to list them all, but who stood out to you so far as a potential, like, they could bloody a couple noses, as far as teams go? Who's stood out right now as players to maybe watch this summer in the World Cup? Maybe we can do a preview video going into the summer of, players, maybe top 5 players to keep a lookout for in the World Cup. Like the lesser knowns, not like the Harry Kanes or the Brunos or anything, but like the lesser knowns who are making a name for themselves, like Troy Parrott. I think everyone's waving the Troy Parrott flag right now. I mean, obviously an excellent match recently. He's really had good qualifiers. He scored a brace, scored 3 goals, a hat trick. Bruno also class today. It was Portugal, the 9-goal game. I think there were 2 hat tricks in there. Anyone who doesn't think Bruno is class, just they need to get out more, because Bruno is absolute baller. Rob says Italy is currently beating Norway, but Norway will top the group because of Goldford. Oh, really? Interesting. Well, keep us informed as things, if there's any big changes. But World Cup qualifiers, it's going to be an interesting World Cup. I think it's 48 teams this summer, which is just absolutely ridiculous. It's just a money grab. It really is. It's literally no different than what they've been doing with Europa League and Champions League. Let's just add more of it, more TV money. You guys know how much it costs to get tickets to go to one of these matches in the US. Like, it's insane. You want to get a hotel, cheap hotel is going to cost you like $600-700 a night. You've got airfare, you've got the actual match tickets as well. Like, it's insane. Like, I don't try to like compare circumstances with like English fans, but like going to a sporting event in the US is literally, you've got to like take out a second mortgage if you want to go watch like the worst NFL team play. It's insane, man. But let me know if you guys are watching any matches right now. Danny says Saudi, Qatar, Japan, Korea, Colombia, Ecuador, Paraguay, Ivory Coast, Ghana. Interesting. Portugal, England, Norway, Wales still in. Nice. Well, I trust you guys to keep me informed. So we're going to move on to some transfer news, because we've been linked to a lot of players, but I don't think that all these links are necessarily legit. So, like, starting with this one. So remember when we hired Ruben Amorim and everyone speculated and dreamed about which sporting players we could bring to United? Remember, we were talking about guys like Victor Gyökeres, Morten Hjulman, both of whom are excellent players. Giovanni Quenda, whoever, remember, Chelsea signed him on a pre-contract. He'll be there in the summer. Gonçalo Inácio, that young left-footed defender. And then Pedro Gonçalves. Remember, we were kind of linked with him tentatively late in the spring, early in the summer, who I think a lot of people would still take. I think he would be a really good player. They've all been linked, all these former, and we saw it with Ten Hag as well. Now, Ten Hag didn't help himself by basically signing all of his forward players, but that's just the way the rumor mill works, right? But none of those players have joined. So, I mean, the closest thing we have to that is Ugarte, who was here long before Amorim was. But it's been claimed now by Simon Jones that United could be set to tap into Amorim's former club for a young star. So this is coming from Simon Jones. It says United are exploring a move for 18-year-old Sporting Lisbon prospect Salvador Blopa. That surname is interesting. Blopa. It sounds like a sound you make. It doesn't sound like a name. No offense. It just doesn't sound like a name to me. But in any case, that's who we've been linked with by Simon Jones. Now, Blopa is quick. He's tall. He's 6'2". He's very direct, very good on the ball. He can play a couple different positions, kind of like what we saw with Patrick Dorgu. So it's easy to make that connection. Right? He can play left wing back. He can play right wing. He can play left wing. He can do a lot. Hasn't really played for Sporting's first team quite yet, other than one Taca de Liga match, which is like their FA Cup, basically. But he did score a brace in that match. He was man of the match. So he kind of exploded onto the scene. Again, this is a thing with young players. You need to take your opportunities because they don't come around very often, especially when you're that young. He grabbed that opportunity with both hands and wrestled it into submission, basically. But what do you make of this rumor? I mean, we have a lot of wingbacks. We've signed Dorgu just recently, and he's a target that we chased for a while. We've got Diego Leon, another player that we signed last season as well, joined us in the summer, 18 years old, looking like he's coming along nicely. I still don't know if he's 100% quite ready yet. I don't know why we're linked with another young left wingback, unless this is another player to just put into the academy, a la Diego Leon. We still have Harry Amas out on loan. We did a little deep dive on it, what he's been up to in that loan watch. So go check that one out. And so we've got Kamison, we've got Montato, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I don't know if it's necessary unless this kid is just another one for the future. And here's the kicker. His contract is up in the summer. And so then you kind of think, okay, now I kind of see that, like, the math starts mathing, and you're like, young player, former amorim player, contracts up in the summer. This to me is starting to sound like agent talk. Danny says he's good, both feet strong, big unit. Yeah, he's good. No one's saying he's not good. I'm just, when I look at all this stuff and then I'm like, oh, contracts up in the summer. When have we've seen this movie, right? We've seen this movie when it comes to random players getting linked to United when their contracts happen to be up, right? It's nothing new under the sun. We're used to it. So now, again, he would have to be one that's going to go into the academy, because there's literally no point to do this other than just if you're just going to start hoovering up all the talent that's out there so no one else gets them. I would say we need a right wing back, or maybe just a more experienced left wing back. Now, I have one that I really like. I did a scouting report on him last week, maybe the week before. You guys can go check that out. Go back a little bit. You'll see that I want that left back. I've seen someone I've scouted many times on the channel before, but contract up in the summer for Blopa. Not sure how I feel about that, but Danny says take him. Well, no one's arguing that the player is not good. I'm questioning the legitimacy of the links, of the rumor, basically based on some of the other factors involved. So, but we'll see. I never claim to be right or wrong. I'm just giving my opinion on it, same as you guys. So I'm happy to be proven wrong if it means we get a talented young future baller in our ranks. No problem with that whatsoever. Maybe you just let them all duke it out and cream rise to the top, and then that player will play. Even if it means Dorgu gets benched, that's just the way it works. It's professional football. There's no free rides. So you listening to that, Ronaldo? No free rides, brother. All right, let's move on to midfield, because these midfield links are not going away anytime soon. So we got another rumor from John Cross with the Mirror, and he's added a little fuel to the midfield fire. Talking about this thing right here. So John Cross says Manchester United are in the market for 2 big midfield signings in the summer. Elliot Anderson is top of the list. United boss Ruben Amorim wants midfield reinforcements as his number one priority to rebuild the squad, with Carlos Baleba the other big deal in the frame. So basically he's saying that Elliot Anderson is top of the list. Baleba also up there as well. You guys know how I feel about Elliot Anderson by now. It's academic at this point. My thoughts on him, where I think he fits in this team. He is an absolute baller. He's one of the best midfielders in the league right now in terms of just watching him play and the boxes that he ticks for what we need, what we're looking for. Good age, physical, got mentality for days. I mean, the kid's just a baller, right? I see us as being probably the most ideal destination, not because I'm just like, oh, United. I'm looking at other top teams, because I don't see him going abroad, right? You look at other top teams in England, they're stacked right now with midfield. Chelsea, is he going to get in ahead of Enzo Fernandez, Moises Caicedo? You got Romeo Lavia in there as well. Arsenal, they keep buying midfielders at Arsenal. They've got players that they don't even play still, like Norgard and whatnot. They don't need midfielders. You can argue maybe City this summer, if maybe like Bernardo Silva leaves, or like Rodri can't stay fit or something, then maybe. But I've also seen rumors that Pep could even leave this summer. And so I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. Who else? Maybe no Newcastle, who's I don't honestly don't even know. I literally cared nothing about Spurs. I have no idea. They have Bergvall, they've got Basuma. So we Manu either is going, he may even be gone too. So we need him. He'll get minutes more and he'll have more prominent, like ahead of almost anybody else we have in the squad right now in midfield. Baleba, I'm still not sold on Baleba. You guys know I don't feel as strongly about Baleba as some other people do. Danny says Anderson, Stiller, Buwadi, or Gomez. That would bring Sel, Collier, Ugarte. Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. There's a lot of midfielders out there right now. Agume, Kamara, Mamadou Sangare. Like you're saying, Buwadi is up there. Gabriel Serra up there as well. There are a lot of midfielders out there. You could even make a cheeky bid for Lucas Paquetá, and he would kind of come in and maybe be taking that Bruno role in the summer. If Bruno were to maybe go to a Saudi club or something, I think Paquetá could do that job for a couple of years. If, we can't find someone else, and maybe if Stiller goes to like Bayern or something, you never know. Let's see. Is it scrambled? What's scrambled about it? Is it audio? Is it video? Y'all let me know what you guys are looking at here, because I don't see anything scrambled on my end. But is it audio or is it video? Let me know if it's not working for you. It could just be maybe me scratching something. But Romano claimed today that Baleba is our top target. There's a lot of talk too going around about some Instagram post from him today. I don't know if you guys saw this. He obviously is paying a little tribute to João Pedro. It says, "Don't try to rush what God is taking time to prepare." Some are trying to push this as a hint that Baleba is also kind of being patient with his own future, his own next move, maybe not trying to rush things. I don't know. Baleba does like to stir the pot a little bit on social media. If you guys remember this post from the summer that he decided to go on and just troll United fans here coming to Old Trafford. Now, a lot of people took this and were like, wait a second. What are you doing here, Baleba? Now, it was deleted from him very quickly after he posted it. But, I mean, come on. Let's go here. And we know that Fabian Herzler, Brighton boss, hinted that Baleba was impacted and maybe even distracted a little bit by our reported interest in him this summer. Easily distracted, a bit cavalier on social media. I mean, we've seen this before at United with guys like Sancho and Garnacho and Rashford. Like I've said it many times. If the kid can't even handle the pressure of being linked to United, I don't know what he's going to do if he actually joined us and put on the shirt. And like, you're just in a fishbowl that's also a pressure cooker 24/7 when you play for United. There's literally no escaping scrutiny and media bias and any of that stuff. That's your life. And if you're going to shy away from, I mean, look at the way he's been playing at Brighton this season. He's the first one subbed often. He's struggling. His performances are not great. I don't want that at Old Trafford. He'll die. He'll literally die if he comes to Old Trafford, man. So, what are your guys' thoughts on these two? Let me put this back up on the screen here. But Anderson, Baleba, who is your top midfield target right now? It's hard, right? Because you can say we need a player in January, but how realistic is it to get a top target in January versus waiting to the summer? It's not very common that clubs sell big name players in January. Now, it is a World Cup year. And we've seen before that clubs have done that. Arsenal got Aubameyang in January from Dortmund ahead of that World Cup. And so it's not outside of the realm of possibility. It's just how frequently does this kind of stuff actually happen? That's an outlier, in my opinion. Now, we did get Bruno in January, but we also paid big money. So if you're going to go for someone like Anderson in January, you've got to make it. It's going to be costly. It's going to be expensive. But you let me know who your pick would be. Give me a realistic January target. Give me a realistic summer target. What would your ideal midfield pivot look like? Danny's already thrown some. I mean, you could literally just make a mix of some of those players that Danny threw out there, and you'd be in really good shape, personally. But again, what does this mean for Kobbie Mainoo? Now, Fabrizio also reiterated that while Kobbie does want to be at United for the long term, he wants to stay here. He also wants to go out on loan in January to get minutes. Napoli have been named again. I know De Bruyne is injured. So Romano says that Cobby wants to go out on loan. He does not want to put in an obligation or an option because he doesn't want to leave. He wants to stay, but he just wants to get minutes. Now, I'm like, if you want minutes, clearly you're not showing enough in training, or you're not taking advantage of the opportunities that you're getting when you do get minutes. I don't think there's any sort of personal agenda, unless Cobby has literally just stepped over the line and said something he shouldn't have said to Amorim. I don't know, but if his mind's not on it, we know that Amorim has done this in the past with guys like Rashford and Garnacho. If your mind's not on it, if you're not 100% committed, even if you are on the bench, then he's not going to trust you to step up. And maybe that's what Cobby's doing. Is it time to maybe just, again, consider the very possibility that Cobby, in this system that we play under Amorim, Cobby's just not going to work? Like, if he can't hang physically, if he doesn't have the passing range or the physicality to hang in this system, to get about the pitch, to leave a little on an opponent, is he ever going to be able to do that? Does that mean we need to sell him? Or do we wait for him to develop and maybe adapt to this system? I know there are people who literally say, no, you play around Cobby, you play around these players, stop playing this system, play a different formation that gets the best out of these players. If you do that, though, then what's the point of bringing in a very system-specific manager like Ruben Amorim? He's made some tweaks, which, again, that's all he really needs to do. He doesn't need to change the formation. Are there academy players that would maybe do a better job even than Cobby, that are a better fit for this system? These are the questions that keep me up at night. What are you guys saying here? Dana says, we need to go all out to get Anderson signed in June. Yeah, you guys know how I feel about summer signings. Get him locked in March, April, May. Get him formalized. Is that a word? Finalized, formal in July. As soon as that window opens, I want this player at Old Trafford holding up the shirt, announcement, all this stuff, signing the blank piece of paper with the fake pen in the press room. Whatever you got to do, get it done. Rob doesn't see us spending big in January, but maybe Ineos will surprise us. I mean, you never know. They surprised me in the summer by extending the credit line, which I did not see them doing, simply because they've spent the whole year telling us about how much money there is. It just seemed like maybe they did a cost-benefit analysis and were like, you know what, it's worth it to go ahead and spend a little bit more to extend that line of credit. We'll eat that in the future just to make sure we can stay on track, something the Glazers would never do. The Glazers would really be happy just to qualify for top four every year, spend $100 million every summer, rather than maybe spend $200 million and really almost win the league. Basically, they would rather just not spend as much money. But I don't know what's going to happen to Cobby. It's interesting to see what's going on with Cobby. I know a lot of us were crying out for him. I think that the media don't help. I think the media were making this much bigger deal than it really needed to be. Literally 2 matches into the season, and the whole media was literally running stories all week about where's Cobby, why isn't Cobby playing and stuff. It didn't help at the time that Bruno was struggling. He was our worst player against Arsenal. He's definitely gotten better. He's literally leading the league in chances created. He's, I think, the second top rated player in the league right now. I mean, surprise, surprise, but I don't know. We'll see if we got any academy players that are already maybe ready to step ahead of Cobby or not, but we'll see what happens, man. We've got some other youngsters that could potentially be coming in and getting the job done. So I want to ask you a question. Do you remember, we're going to move on now. Do you remember Keith Smith, the young midfielder that we scouted a few months ago? This is a screenshot from a Kickabout episode back in July. We scouted this kid back in July, plays for AZ Alkmaar. Well, his name has now popped up again in connection to United and a host of other big clubs, right? That's just the way it works. But I know one of you mentioned him earlier in the chat. Let me see where that was. Danny threw it out there. Yeah. He, like we talked about when we scouted him, he reminds me a lot of how Kevin De Bruyne played when Kevin De Bruyne was at Wolfsburg, because he's like a 10. He can play as an 8, but if he plays as an 8, he's really an advanced 8. But he's constantly getting involved. If you look at his heat map and stuff, it's outside of the box. It's really advanced in that final third. He's really just one of those attacking 10s. It's what he is. Less of a winger, less of a second striker like Cunha, more of an attacking 10, like a Rayan Cherki kind of player. He's not super defensive. This is why I don't see him playing in a pivot. But reportedly 25 million could get the job done for Keith Smith. That's a pretty big deal for a young teenager playing in the Eredivisie, but we've seen United kind of blow money on players. Big up Agile's in the house. Welcome back, my friend. Good to see you again. It's like, yeah, it's got like a inception here. We've got a screenshot within a screen right now of a scouting report screen. So, but yeah, I just put that up there to show you that we have scouted him in the past. But 25 million could be enough to reportedly get this done, get this kid over the line. He does look like Kevin De Bruyne. I think that's just, I mean, even he just plays like him. Now, less like Kevin De Bruyne at City and more like Kevin De Bruyne at Wolfsburg. But I like Keith Smith. I think he could be a good young player. There's a lot of really good young kind of those 10s out there. We mentioned Aklios earlier. Stroikens we've scouted on this channel a couple times. Obviously Schmidt as well. There's Isaac Price, who plays at West Brom. I think could tick that box very well too. There's a lot of good players out there. If for maybe West Ham go down, maybe you go get Mateus Fernandes and just put in a cheeky bid for them to help them get a little more money as they go down. But I like this kid. I like him a lot. I think he could be a really good addition. Got that Sfer Nipan kind of vibe to him as well. So I think he could be a good addition to the squad. You guys let me know what you think. We got more youngsters coming your way, though, if you guys can believe it. It is the year of the youngster, man, for United. We are just getting linked with youngsters literally left and right. So here's another pair that we've been linked with recently, too. Let me get them on the screen here. So it's also been reported that we have our eyes on a couple more of these. These are two of the same, they're teammates at Rons right now. So we've got Jeremy Jacquet and Mohamed Maite who play for Rons. So reportedly, according to this French journalist, Francois Rousey, a United scout was present to watch them against Paris FC recently, which wasn't that long ago, if I remember correctly. Now, Jacquet, who has also been linked to Arsenal, by the way, he's a young center back. So yet another young center back, which, I mean, make of that what you will. How many young center backs are we going to be going for? Good defender, though. Well above average when it comes to tackles and interceptions. Jacquet, very good at carrying the ball out from the back. So again, literally almost the same as Aiden Heaven, basically. But you can see ticking a lot of the same boxes. You know, we're looking at players who are physical, but also good on the ball. That's basically the boxes that we're looking to tick right now. Maita, however, he's a forward. You could call him a striker. You can call him where he kind of plays in a front too. He's got 2 goals, 2 assists in all competitions this season as a young striker for Rons. Both just having really good seasons. Both young, both just exactly the kind of player that Ineos have been looking at, that Vivell has been looking at, Wilcox. You can see a pattern. So you can kind of imagine the kind of players that we're going to be going for now. Now, I do think it's easy to look at that and say our transfer policy now is young players. Well, we also brought in guys like Cunha and Mbumo as well. And so I think we're having a good balance there. We got guys in there like Mazraoui and De Ligt, who Ineos brought in their first season. Like, we have a good balance. I don't mind that at all. But big up, Sanjay. Good to see you again, my friend. Where are you at today? Where in the world is Sanjay is the game we like to play on the channel. This dude's a globe trotter. Danny says, Mora the one, but expensive. Rayon in Brazil. Yeah, we scouted Rayon a couple weeks ago, Danny, in the scouting report. I do have another scouting report special coming up. I got 6 players. I don't know when I'm going to get to do that because my wife's got clients most of the day tomorrow. Do you guys, I could do it live, but then it might take a couple of days, or I could just go ahead and do it, record it, and then upload it, and you guys can watch it that way. If you have a preference, let me know, whatever you guys are comfortable with. But if I pre-record it tonight after I'm done here, I can upload it and have it go tomorrow so you guys got something to watch. But again, if I wait till I do it live, I might not get time till Tuesday. So you guys let me know. Then he says, Jacquet looks good. Box for, yeah. I like the kind of young players that we're being linked with. Now, again, they're links. I'm not saying like these are 100% for sure players, but I like the kind of players. We've been linked to a lot of these young players. I do wish we would have actually grabbed a couple of those young South American defenders and whatnot, Danny, that we were linked with over the summer. But what are you going to do? It's not my club, I guess. So Rob says, Arsenal's defense falling apart. International break, Gabriel Calafiori. Now, I heard Romano say that Calafiori is fine. I thought it was Gabriel Jesus that got injured. Was it actually Gabriel the defender? I have not watched a whole lot of the qualifiers. I tried to watch one the other day. I did not get the channel that it was on, but I have not watched a lot of them. So unfortunately, I'll try to get caught up this week if I can. Agile, yeah, YouTube changed that now. They did that to prevent people from trying to imitate other accounts. Basically, it was too easy to imitate the nicknames, so they put everybody's @ on there now to try to cut down on it. I know it's stupid. It's been like that for a couple weeks, I think, almost. It is what it is. Thankfully, most of you I recognize. Some people's usernames were different than their @s, and I might not always recognize you, but big up, man. I don't think they're rolling it out 100% on everybody's, but it will basically become the new norm. Rivera, we did that. We scouted him the other day. Palacio, he looked a little shaky in the Under-20 World Cup, but I do like him a lot. He's pretty good. But yeah, Rivera is probably one of the ones I would go for easily. Rob says, yeah, the defender, nice goals from Casemiro and Esteban against Senegal. Yeah, I did see Casemiro's goal as well. So, yeah, Casemiro's having, if this is his last season at United, he's literally making it a season to remember so far. I'm very, very happy with that. Sanchi in the house. Big up, Sanchi. What's up, man? Good to see you. We're having all the OGs in here today. Big up. Welcome back, bud. Hope you guys are having a good weekend. Let us know what you're getting up to this weekend if you're watching any qualifiers. And try to remind me who's qualified for the World Cup already, who stood out to you so far in terms of countries and players who you think could really take the summer by storm when World Cup rolls around. I want to know who you guys think, and then let me know if you want us to do like a preview show of that, like top players to keep a lookout for in the World Cup this summer. We kind of did it for the Under-20 World Cup after the fact. I put together my best 11 from the Under-20. Is that something you'd like to see me do for the actual World Cup, my best 11? Remember, I put one player each position, and that was it. So, but let me know. Danny says Troy Parrott. Is that a little bias, though? I mean, it's okay. Sanchi says, I do not know if I'm irritated or pissed or impressed with Rashi Cross. You know what? The same as when he was at Villa. Anything he does, it's either it's going to make either Barcelona more inclined to exercise that clause, or if they want to keep crying poverty, it's going to entice somebody else to buy him, and we might get even more money. I really don't care. I don't consider him a United player anymore. Same with Sancho as well. So it is what it is. Rob's giving me some reminders. So, okay, a lot of Asian teams in there already. Like Jordan is interesting. Saudi, Uzbekistan have qualified. This is what happens when you up it to 48 teams now. That's insane, dude. Oh, what we got here? Some African countries too. Algeria, yep. Cape Verde is interesting. Tunisia, so we're going to see some Hannibal Mejbri maybe in the World Cup. Big up Hannibal Mejbri. Morocco, dude. Keep an eye out for Morocco and the AFCON. I want to see if some of these youngsters from the Under-20 World Cup get a shout out, because in a couple of years, Morocco could be a force to be reckoned with, because they won the Under-20 World Cup. They were an absolute baller. They dominated Argentina in the final. They are very good. They have a really good team. Rob says we got here Argentina. So the usual suspects from South America. Interesting. So there's that. Moving on to more youngsters. I know it's youngster day around here. Not Leo DiCaprio way, not a Todd Bowley way. Just we're linked to players here. So Dean Jones brought up some other rumors. He basically reiterated rumors that we are interested in Ayoub Bouadi. Obviously, you guys know the Lille midfielder who's absolutely balling out this season. Dean Jones claims we are interested in signing him. We have him on a short list of midfielders we want to bring into the club. He claims that Christopher Vivell is a big fan of Bouadi's game and considers him as one of the biggest talents in Europe. I'd agree with that. I'd agree that he's definitely swiftly coming up to my list in terms of maybe not someone I'd bring in and expect to start every week, but someone I want to have in the squad if Anderson, needs to come off or something. Like this kid he reminds me a lot of Boubacar Kamara a little bit when he was at Marseille as well. He's got that kind of vibe to him. Powerful, good in the air. Like him a lot. Sanjay's hometown country can still qualify. Suriname, big up, man. Big up. Danny says, get Agent Maz on the phone. Dude, get somebody on the phone. I don't care, man. Let's get it done, dude. Danny, I feel like you say that about a lot of players. I feel like you said that about Nipan as well. Who else did I feel like you said that about? You said about that recently. Maybe it was a Rokaderi or something. Somebody like that. Yeah, I think, but again, this would be like my Ugarte replacement as like the backup, because I still think I'd want someone fully just comfortable, but wouldn't go amiss. But again, it's another young player who would immediately if we're signing him, is probably going to leap ahead of Kobbie Mainoo. So where does Kobbie Mainoo's future lie? I just couldn't tell you, man. Maybe Buwadi is the guy we can go for in January. That could be a sneaky little bid that we put in for him. We could throw them Kobbie on loan and with some, throw some money at them too for Buwadi for the transfer fee, and we can see how that works out. So Danny says he's got it all. He's very, very good. Let me bring it up on this computer so we can look at it real quick. Hold up. Let's look up Buwadi on FBref. I want to see these numbers. I know I looked at them yesterday. I can't remember all the players I look at because it literally, there's too many. Let me exit this. So we're looking at his numbers here. I'll make it bigger for you guys so you can see what I'm looking at here. So he is like superb when it comes to carrying the ball. Is successful in 1v1s, is top 4%. He's got good tackle numbers, 2.5 tackles per 90 is literally in the top 25th percentile, so well above average. Blocks, so he knows how to be in the right place at the right time to block shots. Pass completion's good. Looks like he's not going to be one of those line-breaking passers. This is literally looks like it's going to be like a João Gomez alternative, a Casemiro alternative. Physical, get stuck in, win that ball, carry it up a little bit, kind of thing. He could be a really good complementary player to someone who is a little bit more of maybe a line breaker, like a Stiller, perhaps. I could see him playing next to Bruno, for instance, if Bruno were still here. Really good. I like what I see there. What are we saying here in the chat here? Danny says Agent Euro, they seem to be close. Get it done then. Bring him here, man. We'll just tell Euro, tell him how fun it is out here in Manchester. Sanchi says we should cash in on Bruno. Well, hey, you never know. We still could. We still get a lot of money for him. I like to come at it from every angle, Sanchi. What if Bruno's still here? What if he's not still here? These are the different kind of iterations of what we could look like next year. It's good to be prepared. Even as a recruitment plan, you've got to have just different possible scenarios for everything. Sanjay says 40 million pure profit. Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it too. It is money. So Danny says young Anderson. Yeah, I like the way he looks. He looks, to me, he already almost looks a little like he just looked really controlled, really calm on the ball for let me bring this back up on the screen here. I'm going to take this off now. I like FBref, but unless you are paying for it, it's just like a bunch of pop-ups and stuff, and it always just slows down my other computer. So thankfully, streaming from the better computer. My other laptop, though, is having some issues. Probably going to die on me soon. But if you like Buwadi, let me know what you think. Let me know why you think of him. Danny thinks, if we don't get him, he's going to be pissed. Probably gonna swear off supporting the club. I think there are so many good midfielders out there right now that you could any two of them I'd be happy with personally. I still like Anderson, still my top priority. It just is what it is. There's options even in January. Where I get iffy with the January is if I don't want the third choice in January if it means financially we can't go big in the summer or something. Like, try for your top target in January, and if it doesn't work out, keep working on that throughout the season. But I wouldn't want to go get João Gomez in January if it meant we couldn't get like Anderson or Buwadi or somebody in the summer. I think I would rather just almost wait, maybe explore another deal for somebody else, maybe go see if Ruben Neves is out there. He probably would not cost as much. Those are the kind of things that recruitment teams have to think about while they're putting together the transfer policy and they're planning out the next couple seasons and stuff. You can probably bet that we will be talking to like Bruno and his contract and whatnot. I don't buy anything that we're trying to extend Casemiro's contract. I really don't think we're doing that, but What do we have here? Sanchi, big up, Sanchi, in with his super chat. Big up, man. Hold on. You get one of these first, buddy. Applause from the computer here. What do you got for me? Simpsons prediction was Mexico versus Portugal World Cup final. By the way, I take Simpsons prediction seriously. What did the octopus predict when it came to? Don't they do an octopus for it? A Mexico Portugal final will be interesting. Now the draw is soon, right? Like it's in a couple weeks, I think. Right? When is the World Cup draw? Let me look this up. World Cup draw date. But the World Cup draw, where is the draw? Who's in which pot? Date, time. December 5th. The draw will be held December 5th in Washington, D.C. 38 of the 48 berths will have been sealed by that point. March will then determine the final 10, but the nations will know their would be groups after the draw. So we're going to get the groups, the breakdowns of all that on December 5th. So literally we've got a couple weeks to go here. So if you're waiting for that, waiting a little long, but we're still kind of obviously wrapping that up to see how these qualify. We've got a lot more qualifying rounds to go, man. But Sanji, absolute legend, man. Appreciate that as well. Sanjay wants to know how much does João Neves earn in KSA? What is KSA? João Neves wages. So he's on 4.8 million euros per week. So what is 4.8 million euros in KSA? 4.8 million euros in KSA. Is that what you said? That's Saudis. So that is 20.8 million per year. Don't know what that is per week, but that's all I got for you. So I don't know conversions very well. I always got to Google it. So he's on 20.8 million KSA per year, which is 4.8 million euros per year. So not a whole lot, but you never know. But moving on. Let's move it along. Let me get Ayub Bawadi off the screen here, you guys. So let's look back on all what we just spoke about. We spoke about Keith Smith, we spoke about Anderson, Baleba, Bawadi, Jacque, Maite over at Ron's as well. Let's for 1 second operate under the assumption that these links are legitimate, right? What do you make of all these young players? What do you make of that kind of almost? It's almost like half of our transfer policy. If again operating under the assumption that these links are legitimate, it almost like half our transfer policy is young players, right? What do you make of that? Do you like that? Do you like that we're finally kind of starting to recognize like there's a balance between the academy, there's a balance between established players, but there's also a balance between buying these young players before they go to Brighton, before they go to Benfica, before they go to like Ajax or Dortmund and everyone's paying 100 million for them, you know? What do you make of that? It's like the academy, established players, and young players from around the world. It's like each of those is three legs, is a leg of a stool, right? And I feel like you really need to maintain that balance, or else that stool is just not sitting right. And I like that. I feel like for the longest time, it was we neglected the academy for the longest time. Like a decade ago, we were criticized for it, and then we became a lot of looking too heavy at established players who were very pricey, and there hasn't been that balance for a very long time. And I blame the Glazers and Woodward for a lot of that stuff. Now, Ineos seem like they're really starting to reestablish that balance. They're like the established players are looking at. They're not just buying big names. They're not just buying shirt sellers. They're buying players that they think fit, players who will slot in instantly. And Bumo, Cunha have hit the ground running. They're both doing great. Now, you can argue that Cunha doesn't have the numbers, but watching Cunha play, he's fine. I'm not too worried about him. We're looking at young players, guys like Aiden Heaven, whatnot, Lenny Yoro, Dorgu, Diego Leon. We've been partying that. And look at the academy. Now, people were criticizing Ruben Amorim for not. Some people said he's been gaslighting. Like they call him gaslighting for the as far as the academy goes. But he's got players from the academy regularly training with the first team. He's had them in the first team squad. Like at Sporting, he brought a lot of youngsters through the academy, promoted them in the first team as well. He's got a history for it. But there's something to be said about not throwing academy players, not throwing young players into the environment. Last season, probably not the best season to do that. We saw it earlier this season against Grimsby. We saw Fredrickson as well. Last season against Wolves, Harry Amos, Fredrickson both started and were both stupendous in that. They were amazing in that match. Fredrickson played left center back. Amos played left wing back. They were amazing in that match. And I think that there's something to be said that we are in a much better place, but we're not in Europe. We're no longer in the Carabao Cup. Pressure is on. Where does that line fall for a manager between rolling the dice, giving some more minutes to youngsters, and like waiting maybe till the FA Cup or something? I'm just throwing it. I want to know your guys' thoughts here. Like Danny says, Orozco, Heaven, Kone, really smart buys. Yeah. Enzo is doing really well. Lascelles, we got from Crystal Palace as well. I feel like there are more that we were linked with. I don't know if we've signed them off. I feel like we got that keeper, I think that Derby County keeper, that 16-year-old too. I forget his name now off the top of my head. But I don't have a problem with it. We're building another generation of players. The academy was already stacked before we started signing all these players too. So we're just adding to it. And then over the years, we've been quietly accumulating. We bought Overy from a Australian team. Biancheri we brought in as well. Like, we're building. Future looks really, really bright. But what do you make of that? Do you like it? Do you want to see more big names being linked? We haven't been linked to a ton of big names recently. Obviously, Anderson and whatnot. That's probably not going to happen until the summer. But let me know. I'm always curious to know everyone's thoughts on some of that stuff, where everyone stands. What would your transfer policy be? If you were director of football, how would you go about it? Like, I'm always curious. It's a good little conversation to have. But speaking of targeting some expensive players, there are loads of people. I saw this yesterday, and I will admit I got a little frustrated with this yesterday. And I was posting some comments on these accounts they're big like United accounts and whatnot. And I posted on the account that actually posted it. Like, there are a lot of people claiming that Bild, German outlet Bild, which is kind of like a German tabloid, but they're reportedly pretty reputable. I don't know. We'll see. If you look them up, it says German tabloid. But Bild, there are claims that Bild linked us to this Eintracht Frankfurt wingback named Nathaniel Brown. Now, I like Nathaniel Brown. I think he's a really good wingback. He's very, very quick, very direct. But the problem is Bild actually have not linked us to Nathaniel Brown. The link is actually some Saudi Twitter profile. That's not like xenophobic. I'm just literally saying, I think it's a Saudi Twitter profile, saying, and they literally just posted it and then tagged Bild and basically said, that Bild linked us. Literally, Bild has never linked us to Nathaniel Brown. You've got to do the research on this. I've looked it up as soon as I saw it. Go into ChatGPT. You can look at Bild. You can translate Bild. You can look at everything on there. They've literally never linked us. The only clubs that have been linked to him are like Real Madrid, Man City. We've never been linked to him. I would love us to be linked to him. We're just not linked to him. And so that's what I mean when I say dubious transfer links. You have to do the research. Anybody can literally tag anybody on Twitter. I could post nonsense, tag Bild tonight, say that we're linked. We're putting in a move for João Neves in January. And I guarantee you the traction will take off. Like, that's just the way it works sometimes. Look at like Indy Kayla. Indy Kayla got like one thing right. I can't even remember what that was in the summer. Literally nothing else has happened since. But everyone still thinks Indy Kayla is like, yeah, they're a good source. They're not a good source. I've listed off the stuff that they were coming out with, and they are just the craziest takes, man. Agile says, Bild is a respectable publication, even if it is a tabloid. Yeah, and that's why I said, like, they're called a tabloid, but they're actually, like, reputable. And so, but that's why I'm surprised. But yeah, like, technically they're a tabloid, but it's not, like, the way we would say tabloid, I guess. Yeah, he does look good. There's nothing in these links, unfortunately. What are you guys saying up here? Danny trusts Vivell. Yeah, Vivell, I'm telling you right now, Danny, if Jason Wilcox, in a couple of years, if Jason Wilcox decides to maybe go take like another job someplace, I would have zero problem with Christopher Vivell stepping up as the director of football. I really wouldn't. I think he likes the aspect of the job that he's doing now. I think he really likes it. I think he's really good at it. But I would also trust him if he were to maybe make the step up to our DOF to appoint someone else that he thinks. And we've also got that data guy doing the job too right now too, who's really just kind of revamping things as well. So I think we have a really good team in place for the first time in a very long time. We have a really good team in place. It's modern. There's a couple people, specialists. We're bringing data into it. I like it. It's not just, let's get the flat caps out on an early Sunday morning, go stand on the fog on a muddy pitch and watch these. It's like well done the way it should be, the way a big club should be doing recruitment. As just says, Bawadi would be a dream signing. He'd be a lot of people's dream signings. My dream signing this summer is still going to be Anderson. It's just the way it is. I think Anderson is miles ahead of everyone else right now, but I wouldn't say no to Bawadi at all. Rob likes the way Vivell is building. Wouldn't say no to Mbappe signing. I would say no to Mbappe signing. He's just not my cup of tea. So Danny says they take us to the cleaners on price. Yeah, he would be expensive. He would be super expensive. Yeah, he is a little Ragnick disciple, isn't he? I mean, obviously he came through the Red Bull group as well. Got a lot of Red Bull connections. I know Red Bull still use this African academy. I can't remember where. I think it might be in Mali. I don't remember now. That's where they get a lot of their pipelines. That's where you got guys like Kone and whatnot. Who was that other winger? We obviously linked that kid Dabo. I don't remember where he's from. There was that other winger. I think I want to say he's at Salzburg now, that we were linked with another Malian player. I can't remember who he's an attacker. I can't remember what his name is now off the top of my head. Well, we're linked to that kid as well. I would love us, Danny, go get like Jorthy Mokio as well at Feyenoord. Or not, sorry, Ajax. There's a lot of good players out there, you guys. So do your research. You'll find them. Let's see. Real quick, what do you make of this story popped up yesterday? I wanted to get your guys' thoughts because we've spoken about this guy a couple times on the channel. I know a lot of you guys really like him, but Daniel Munoz had an interesting little comment recently. What do you make of this statement? He says, I dream of playing for one of these clubs, whether it's Barcelona, Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid, or Manchester United. I think I'm working towards making that happen. My focus is on Crystal Palace. We'll see it as a winter transfer window approaches. So this, to me, is a very interesting little statement here from Daniel Munoz, if I have to say so myself. That's who it was, Rob. Thank you, Dorglis. Yeah, I forgot what his name was. So Munoz is speaking to outlet called AS Colombia in this. I know a lot of people like Munoz. I like Munoz a lot. Here's the thing with Munoz. We have Mazraoui right now, so there's that. B, Munoz is going to be 30 this spring, like before the summer even gets here. This guy, I think he's a lot older than what people think. Right. And that's, Rob, this is exactly why I wanted people's thoughts on this. Because this is the kind of statement that Pogba used to make while he was on international break that he would get absolute pelters for, if you guys remember. Pogba and Raiola will be running their mouth all the time. We'll see what happens. Maybe it's time to what's the phrase that they always do? Just this the next step in my career, some nonsense that the footballers come out with. Danny says, wish he was 2-3. Yeah, if he were, again, he's older than people realize. I think some people think he's like 26, 27. I almost thought he was like 27 now. He's going to be 30 in a few months. And so we have Mazraoui. Now, Munoz right now is probably one of the better right wing backs in the league, if not the best right wing back in the league. He's absolutely flying. Like the way Oliver Glasner has come in and just done what he's done, like in that squad, turned him into that right wing back role. He's taken to it like a duck to water. He's great, but yes, so he's making this statement is a bit iffy. He's older than people think. We have Mazraoui. Like I do think I would still take a 30-year-old Munoz over Diogo Dalot any day of the week. But Agile says, very flattering statement about a club that finished 15th. I mean, we are a big club. It almost doesn't matter if we finish 15th. We're still going to have pull. We're still going to get the views. We're still going to any way you want to finish that sentence. That's still going to be us. We are literally one of the biggest clubs in the world. That's just the way it works. Agile says, it shows we still have this name. Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, if you finish 15th, Agile, in a two-team league, yeah, that's a big deal. And when you're literally backed by the Spanish government, if you finish 15th, not okay. And that's why we watch the Premier League, right? There is a little bit more parity. There is a little bit more competition in the league. That's why I don't rate La Liga. I don't rate Bundesliga. I don't rate Liga. I don't rate those leagues. I just don't. Not saying the players are not good. I just don't think the league is worth watching. I really don't. It's just not interesting to me. It really isn't. You start a La Liga season, you just flip a coin to decide the winner of that season, and that's it. And you don't even have to do that in French league because it's usually just going to be PSG. You almost don't have to do it in the Bundesliga either, aside from like 2 years ago, because it's always going to be Bayern Munich. Like, these are boring leagues. I don't rate them whatsoever. But yeah, 15th. I mean, nobody was talking about Liverpool when they were finishing 8th. No one cared about Arsenal when they were finished 8th. But people do care about United when we finish 15th. People would care about United when we finish 8th because we're United. Nobody cares about Arsenal. Nobody cares about Liverpool anymore. People are already going in on Arne Slot. Like we saw, as soon as he started losing, they started doing it. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting statement from Munoz. I know a lot of people rate him really highly. I rate him really highly. I just don't know if he's the best fit for us. So I have a pick for a left wing back. You guys saw that video I did a couple weeks back, but let me know. Rob says, yes, road to 3K. Hit those like buttons, subscribe, and hype buttons. Yes, please go back on the videos on your phone, the older videos, and just hype a couple of them. I think you're allowed like 3 a week or 3 a day. I don't remember. I don't know the intricacies of it. It's the way YouTube's trying to promote channels now instead of just liking and watching and stuff. Now you've got to go hit a hype button as well. Really, they're making it difficult for you guys and they're making it difficult for me. But yes, it is free. It does take a couple seconds to whip out the phone, hit some hype. It does help the channel a lot. And you can definitely see a difference when people are hyping because I see a lot more views and engagement and stuff. So I do appreciate everything you guys do to help the channel, get involved in the chat, just responding to polls and things. It does help me know that, people are interested, people are getting involved, and the community is active and engaged. That's really what this is all about. But that is going to do it for me, you guys. Make sure, again, like, subscribe, and check out the memberships as well. Thank you, Sanchi, for your super chat today, man. Big up, absolute legend. Last day for 20% off in the United vs. Everybody online store. There was a link pinned in the chat. Go there. There was a new design that got put out this week as well, another class of 92 related design. So if, like me, you're of a certain vintage and class of 92, mid-90s, late 90s was like your introduction almost to United in many ways, you'd probably tick that box. So Agile has a question for us. We'll close out in the question. It says, are we concerned by Dorgu's form? I do have concerns if he's going to have elite attacking qualities. Thoughts? We've spoken about Dorgu a couple times. I'm not concerned about it at all, other than he's got to develop in his finishing. His final ball basically needs to develop, but he's not Dallo, who's 26 and has the same shit final ball. Dorgu literally just turned 21 like a week ago, and he ticks literally every other box you want. He's physical. He's got mentality. He'll give you stamina. He'll run for days. He's excellent in 1v1s. I think he's near the top of the league for successful take-ons, like these 1v1s, progressive carries and whatnot. He gets up and down the pitch. If the last little thing he's got to work on is just better delivery in the box, that's fine. It's nothing I wouldn't expect from a young player. I'm not worried about Dorgu. I do think maybe we would be amiss to not consider if there's older, maybe left wing back out there, because Amos needs to stay on loan. Diego Leon's not ready yet. AFCON's coming up. I don't want to be stuck with just Dorgu and Diogo Dallo as our options. I don't know if Luke Shaw, I trust him there. Now, ironically, Luke Shaw's got one of the best crosses we have in the club right now. That's just hands down the truth. But I do think we could do with something. That's why I put out that left back video the other week of someone I think is gettable in January, experience, ticks a lot of those same physical boxes that Dorgu does, but also just experience at elite club, experience creating chances. So could be a little shout there. Yeah, he's just a good athlete, and he's young. So I think he has a lot of potential. I don't think he was brought in to start week in, week out, but I have no problem with it. We'll see. It'll take a little bit of time, but he's still young, so I'm not gonna worry about it too much. So to answer your question, I'm not worried, but I fully admit, yeah, he's got to work on his delivery in the box. But that to me it's not as black or white as his crossing is not amazing as a 21-year-old. So he's a flop. That's what the media is going to try to do. But if you look at a lot of other metrics, Dorgu is very, very good. So let me see real quick on it's always nice to get a little refresher on what players are doing these days. So let me look at Dorgu's number. He looked really good to start the season. All right, so let me put this on the screen for you guys. So these are Dorgu's percentiles in the last year. So even then, like shot creating actions, top 20% basically. Carries, top 7%. Is getting so many touches in advanced areas and getting those balls in the box. He's winning top 5% of his. He's in top 5% for aerials and, again, top 10% for tackles per 90. And so he's getting better. His expected assists are above average. The assists are not. Now, that does not mean that Dorgu's not creating chances. It means that the chances are not getting put away because his XG for assist goals is above average, which kind of like Bruno over the years, the chance creation is elite. The assists are not because our attack has been not great over the last 5-6 years. So, and that's what it looks like when you've got a player like Bruno who's literally leading the league in chances created and stuff, but the assists are just not matching up. It tends to be because the players are just not putting away the chances, unfortunately. And so, but we'll see what happens. I saw that kid earlier. And no one's saying he's bad, but again, it's just we don't. The last thing we need right now, in my opinion, is another teenager at left wing back. So no one's saying these players aren't good, but I don't know what another teenager is going to do at left wing back. We've got Amos, we've got Leon. I just don't know if it's necessary, unfortunately. So Ejo says he does produce better in a Denmark shirt in the attacking third. Yeah, I mean, a lot of players can do better. They look like world beaters on international duty, and some of them they don't. It is what it is. I mean, we got people out here putting in like 5 goals against like Andorra and whatnot. I mean, it's hard to not look good. So Agile says he does need to work on his miscontrols as well. Yeah. And some of that's going to be, I mean, he and Shaw are developing. There were some matches this season where he and Shaw had a nice little kind of give and go going. They had a nice little kind of relationship. It looked like it was flowering a little bit on that left-hand side. But he's young and he's still new to the side. And so I'm not going to worry about it. It just is what it is. I don't go too quickly with these players, both positive and negative. So especially young players like Lenny Euro, he makes mistakes sometimes, but they're the kind of mistakes that I would expect a young 19, 20-year-old defender to make. That's normal. I don't get upset about that kind of stuff. It's just one thing to point out, like, yep, that some of that will get better with time. If it doesn't, then you have to have a conversation. You have to make a decision. It's not that deep, but always good to have these little chats. Never shy away, you guys, from putting out thoughts and questions in the chat. You guys know this is your channel. I just kind of stir the pot a little bit and throw out the topics, but for real, thank you guys for stopping by today. Make sure you like and make sure you subscribe, and please consider those memberships as well, and 20% off the UVE store as well. We got hats, beanies, mugs. If you guys got like the Fergie Time mugs. There's all sorts of mugs out there. I love my Fergie Time mug. T-shirts, hoodies, women's stuff. There's babies. There's onesies. If you all have a baby, there's a poster in there now too. Magnets, stickers. We got it all. But take it easy, you guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I will be back with a scouting report special. Don't forget to kick about this week. Going to have a fun little show about what it's like to talk to non-football fans about football. A lot of fun stories, a lot of fun chat there. So we're going to have fun with that one. And then obviously we've got preview coming up for Everton, which is Monday nights. Not tomorrow, but I think a week. So take it easy, guys. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.